Welcome back, Fragrance Fiend here today doing a first impression of Delphinus by Creed. This will be the first time smelling their brand new 2024 release. It's an amber scent of eau de parfum concentration and also unisex. I reviewed Centaurus last week, which did smell a little masculine. I was really impressed with that one. I'm wondering if this one's going to be a little more on the feminine side. Let's find out. I'm going to skip the whole backstory and let's just get right into it. So in the top you have black pepper incense, almond pink pepper with a heart of Heliotrope orchid, Orris butter with a base of patchouli, tonka, amberwood, leather and bourbon vanilla. So I don't actually know a single thing about this one, beside that it launches in Australia this week. I don't even know if the public like it or not. I've never smelt it until right now, so let's go for it. Well, what do you know, I actually kind of like this one as well, but the minute I smell it, I actually pick up starburst. Or something like that, like a lolly. Well, this one actually does smell a lot more on the feminine side. I don't know why they didn't just label them masculine, feminine. I mean, they'd easily fit in those territories, but once again, they're trying to appeal to a wider customer base. Don't get me wrong, I like it, but I'm probably going to be trashed for saying this. It smells like it looks, like an early 2000s transparent kind of bottle with Paris Hilton or Britney Spears picture just plastered on the front of it. It just smells like a very girly girl lolly perfume. I mean, I don't know how many of you have smelled things like Viva La Juicy or anything in that kind of territory, but this feels like it kind of fits somewhere in there. And I don't mean that in a negative way, even though I'm not a fan of those perfumes, but this one actually does smell quite nice. It's light, pleasant, nothing I'd typically wear myself. I don't know why. I mean, it claims to be quite an incensey fragrance. I'm not actually getting too much of that. It does smell very bubblegummy. And 100% this one actually does smell like a women's fragrance. I felt like if I was to wear this in public, I'm probably going to get catcalled. I didn't get any black pepper in the opening. There was no spice element whatsoever. The incense just feels very minimal. I mean, it claims to be a very incense-heavy fragrance. I'm not really getting that. The almond, I can definitely smell a bit of that, alongside the pink pepper. And the florals in the heart are definitely quite obvious. As per usual, I'm not massive on florals, but I actually do quite like them in this. It's actually the one time where I'm able to wear a floral-centric fragrance without it smelling off on my skin. The patchouli, tonka and vanilla smell incredible. I really like it, actually, a little more on the sweeter side, but not to the point of it being intoxicating or overkill. I'm going to give it another spray to capture that opening again. I think maybe my comments were maybe a little harsh, maybe not. Let's find out. Yeah, once again, a very familiar DNA. As I mentioned with Centaurus, it's not a typical Creed fragrance. They've really branched out, they've done something different, which I can also appreciate, but I don't know how much the Creed fanbase is into this. Maybe they'll love it. I think they're just trying to diversify, but at the same time, it's not really what you'd consider an untapped market. A lot of people are putting out fragrances like this, especially at a much more affordable price as well. I mean, to me, it smells like a very young feminine fragrance. I mean, even as young as like early teens to, I don't know, late teens. And I can't say for sure, I mean, this is just my general perception of it, but I just feel like women in, I don't know, late 20s, early 30s are going to consider it maybe too youthful, too girly girl, too brat for them. I wouldn't necessarily say my comments have been harsh. It's literally just what sprung to mind in the spur of the moment. This is a first impression. Maybe once I get to dissecting the fragrance a little more, then I'll do a full review, but to me it's a very simplistic scent. The dry down so far has been quite linear, a lot more linear than Centaurus, which did develop quite quickly. I gave quite high marks for Centaurus, and this one unfortunately is not going to get quite the same marks. But yeah, definitely still a winter-centric fragrance. As I mentioned last time, winter just ended in Australia, and with our climate, I don't know how well these are going to be selling, since the majority of the country is a desert, but I feel my faith has been somewhat restored in the brand. Centaurus was definitely quite high quality. This smells, I guess, I don't know, a little bit cheaper. So now that about 5 minutes have passed, the sense projection is definitely quite minimal. I feel like it's not going to be a massive performer unless you overspray this one. The longevity, I feel like it's going to be pretty good, but you'll see those marks at the end of my video as always. Thank you again for watching. I'll see you next time.